All right, welcome to another Stormgate cast with algorithm0r, and I will be casting another one of my games here today. This is a game again where I'm going to be playing the Blue Infernal, and in the top right corner we see my opponent Gravy, who's playing the Red Celestial. And again, I play ladder a lot, so this is a ladder game between the two of us, and we met up around the MMR of about 1600. So this is an interesting game that I wanted to cast because it has some interesting battles in it. And this is my opening that I like to do, or at least I've been practicing the last couple of days against Celestial on the ladder. And I like to build a double vault. And you can see my other imp here is heading out to build a farm to creep with on these creeps over here. And my opponent is using his Sovereign's Watch to creep out the speed camp down here below. This is an interesting strategy. I think it's becoming popular with Celestials, just like we're using some of our buildings as Infernals to help us creep. The Celestials have found ways to do that as well. Now, what's interesting is he's still got one mob left, and that means he can't capture it. He also doesn't seem to have any units at this point, although his creation chambers are down and started producing. I'm just creeping over here, trying to collect some fiends with my skulls, and there you see one of my file hogs getting in on the action. Of course, my brutes tanking the damage there. You can see he's very low, although he's going to get some of that passive healing while he sits in the healing well. Sometimes I split this brute, but this time I decided I was just going to heal him up for a bit while I let some of my other brutes come and catch up. This brute's going to come and do the tanking in the next creep. Of course, you can creep these camps a little bit faster than this, but my micro isn't exactly the greatest, so if I can have a little bit of an advantage. It looks like these Argents coming out for Gravy are going to try and finish off this camp over here, kill the last Shadow Mastiff, and there we see that. And an interesting thing that I remember from this game is that they left before they captured the camp. I remember that because after clearing this camp, I still noticed their camp was not cleared. And as I often do, I'll try and jack it from them. And when I got there, I saw some blood there, and I realized, hey, they already captured this camp. Okay, so I grabbed the speed boost, and then I run back over to my camp. A couple more brutes on the way to help me. I thought that was very strange, but I didn't think too much of it. Maybe it appeared that maybe Gravy just forgot to capture it or moved away too quickly for the capture to finish. I'm going to clear my own speed camp while my Expo has finished, and I have built my Conclave as well. It looks like I have just begun my upgrade to Tier 2. Back over in Gravy's... Oh, we're having a meet up here. Looks like Gravy has decided to go with some Kree to supplement those two Argents. In fact, all Kree after those first two Argents. I take his Vision Camp, and he goes to heal up from that slight skirmish. There wasn't much of a skirmish there. Now, Kree do well against light units. Light units are gaunts for Infernal as well as the Fiends. The Brutes themselves are heavy, so they actually do pretty good against the Kree in the sense that they can tank the damage done by the Kree pretty well, and then their DPS isn't that bad, so they can actually do some damage to those Kree. Now, I saw those Kree. Kree are dangerous for a couple reasons. One reason is they can do a run-by in your base and get into your mineral line. And I'm a little worried about that, so that's why I'm putting down a little bit of my static D. I've just got a farm up front that'll just spawn some fell hogs. And it looks like, yeah, oh, it's just another meat farm down here. I'll often put down some shroud stones, but sometimes I feel if I'm too preemptive in those shroud stones. I'm spending some of my luminite on things that maybe could be units or imps or an expansion or something else that might be helpful. So I try to only build those shroud stones if I know an attack is fairly imminent. Now, of course, they're not really fast to build, so you want to have them build. Okay, so these Kree are coming in here. Those Fellhogs just straight up die from one of the area of attacks after their rollout. Looks like the rollout research has been completed. One thing that makes this particular map, I think, a little bit challenging to play on is that your opponents can often do what he just did there, which is steal your camp before they push. Now, I think Gravy was pretty wise there. I think he used a scan. He could see I had some static D. I was kind of body blocking with my melee units, and then I think the one reason why he definitely chose to leave was I had my first Magmadon out, and Magmadons are quite strong against the Kree. They can do area of effect damage on them, and if it was upgraded, I don't think mine was, it could do the stun effect as well. So in addition to those brutes there, the Magmadon was probably enough to push that attack back. Now, Gravy is staying dedicated to these units. He's got a lot of Kree now. And again, if he keeps adding to this ball, even that small defense I mustered would not be really sufficient. So I think that's partly a good strategy. Often when I face Celestial, they'll have more Argents than Kree, but this is a very Kree heavy build. And again, let's see what he's got back home. Oh, he's just started to summon in 3. He's got a Starforge already, and it looks like he's summoning in 2 more Starforges. So he's definitely thinking of doing a tech switch, or at least something to add to these Kree. And a very, let's see what we have here. Oh, those are just my Fiends trying to discard that tower, but they're being taken out here. That looks like it's sort of a sign that we might be getting another push. So again, I'm positioning my units for a defense. And with the Kree on the map, I've been slow to expand. So it looks like Gravy is taking the third quicker. Looks like Gravy was taking that tower mostly to just get some vision on the area so that he could creep this camp safely. At this point now, Gravy's up. He's got both of the Luminite camps, which means his income is being augmented. Again, also with the third base. My particular eco has sort of fallen behind his at this point. Again, he's just creeping. I think I keep getting the sense that he might come to push against me, and he doesn't. So I'm finally moving out of my base to take this camp. I think he's deciding, hey, maybe I should take that camp too. No, well, maybe he's a bit indecisive. He's going to take my speed camp first. Take the health camp. He's going to take my speed. What's that? Oh, I was wondering what this Argent was. He's a Scout Argent, I guess. With this Kree build, the Argents are maybe the ones you send into Scout. So, Scout Argent got some information on my composition. He's looking for a third. That's a common place for a third. I actually chose not to break down. I'll often break down these trees and then go make my third there. I chose not to because of that opens another entrance to my base, and with the Kree, the run-bys can be very, can be very damaging. And it looks like now I'm deciding to do that. Now that I'm fully saturated, I've got some mining on the Ethereum patch down here too. I like to try and keep a constant in production. And here we see the first scythes coming out. So as I mentioned there, I like to keep a constant in production. So that's one of the reasons that I'm thinking another base is probably a good timing here. Otherwise, those imps are sort of going to waste unless I'm building static D or other buildings. We've got the first scythes out. I don't think that I've seen them yet. And again, very active with these Krees creeping. I think this is a great strategy. Definitely got more income from the creeps than I have in this game. And Yeah, a very big ball of Kree plus a couple of sides. I wonder if he's just waiting for those next batch of sides to come out to do something more aggressive with them, other than creeping these camps. Looks like I've sent out a couple fiends to capture the Luminite camps. And I've repositioned my little ball here, which hasn't really grown much here as I've been trying to get my eco caught up to his. And maybe that might be, you know, one of the challenges here, because it looks like, well, he took back this camp from me that was being held by that single fiend. And is he going to finally push in? No, he's got 5 sides now. So, well, looks like he's trying to scout with these Kree here. Meet my fell hogs. And so I've got some shadow flyers here, so I must have scouted his sides. And I think, oh, trying to push him off my speed camp. And he's trying to use, I think, the speed of those Kree. Well, I was going to go back and take my tower. But I split off a few of the Kree. Wonder what that's about. I mean, that's good to land on my gaunts. It's never good to have your gaunts pushing in first. But I did manage to clear up that small ball. And here we have another small misrally. But now it looks like an actual engage. Those Kree roll in on my mags and my brutes there. They try and run through and get some hits in on those Hellborn, which are definitely high target units. But now I've just got sides here, and what sides do is murder units that can't shoot at the sky, which none of those units can do. And we've got, it looks like, double run-bys with Kree, both of them seemingly being cleaned up by some of the static defense in the area, although it looked like some of my imps went down as well. And now we're in a place where we've got, unfortunately, gaunts versus size. And the scythe ball here is looking a little bit more imposing than the 4 or 5 gaunts that I've been able to gather up. This is a very interesting composition, I think, from Gravy, in the sense that it's a little bit hard to deal with from the Infernal side, because the scythes, of course, as I mentioned, shoot down from the sky and can only be hit by a very few number of Infernal units. Gaunts, of course, are the obvious ones. Shadow Flyers, as we see here, that was a very good way to deal with the Shadow Flyers, although I think those Shadow Flyers were just spawned and were not being controlled, so they kind of just zoned into the first side. And well, that was a very good strategic hit. He took out my Spire, which means I won't be able to produce any more until I make another one, which I think I'm going to do over there. Yeah, a couple more going down. And yeah, these sides have a large enough number that they can really do damage to those gaunts, and those Kree came in and also did some serious damage. So here they are, trying to maybe take out some of my structures. Again, I'm trying to put more static D down, and they're into my third. The one thing that sides are actually pretty good at as well is doing damage to Shroud Stones. You need quite a few Shroud Stones to push off this number of sides. And again, just trying to push them off with the few gaunts that I have, while I'm buying time to hopefully build some more spires so I can get some proper anti-air in. Now at this point I think it might be a good idea to do a run by or try and get into the base. Unfortunately not too many survive, as there is, I think these are blast nodes in the base that are doing some serious damage. Those Magmadons, my units are all spread out, so the Kree and the sides are doing a pretty good job of cleaning them up. Now I did, those units were the last of my initial army. I'm now trying to rebuild some army, and well, we've got a lot of scythes still. We've got some Kree, and I've got some shadow flyers. Will it be enough? Looks like I only have 6 or 8. Oh, that was not a good hit again. It looked like they probably just A-moved them right in, and they just hit those first 3. The scythe number is getting actually pretty devastating here. This could be it right now. My ground forces are cleaning up his Kree, and this is one of the challenging parts of this matchup, or this composition from the Celestial, is that the Infernal player does have to keep building units to combat the Kree. If they focus only, if say purely Shadow Flyers or something like that, you're going to have Kree in your base. And right now I have Scythes in my base. So there's a tech choice that you have to make as an Infernal, which is, am I going to counter, which of these am I going to counter? I've got some Shadow Flyers coming in, and that's the kind of engage you want on the Shadow Flyers. A few Gaunts in the back to chase them off. Did those Kree get cleaned up? It looks like maybe. It looks like this ore patch has been mined out. And we've got more. Now what's interesting is this is the slow. It does damage, area of effect damage. Now that I think about it, that might be a pretty good defense against air. Something I'll have to think about in future games. Again, I think this might not be the right choice of mixture. I like the Megs because they're really good against the Kree here, but they also cost a lot of Therium, and I kind of need that Therium right now to combat the Scythes. So maybe Brutes would have been a better choice. Here I am trying to rebuild my third. I think that Gravy is pretty comfortable now with the 4th base. Again, it looks like some blast nodes or strike nodes there. Can you tell what they are? They're blast nodes. Okay. Those are blast nodes too. Blast nodes are really strong versus pretty much all Infernal units. So if you're a Celestial player, I recommend getting blast nodes. I feel like the strike nodes are not quite as good against Infernal. Here we have the Scythes creeping the camp. I'm creeping another camp down here. We've got a little bit of lull in the action right now as we both try and remax our armies or re-up our armies to something we think that can be combat worthy. I'm also, again, behind in the eco, so he had denied my 3rd base. It looks like I still haven't got that up to as many imps as I'd want. Or maybe these imps, I think, have been mining from this mine long distance since that was destroyed. So they're just making their final trip back. I'm clearing out my health cap. I do have a healthy number of Gaunts now, so this might be enough to deal with this size. We have a Vector. I think this was a miss build, because I think Vectors come out of starports. I think this is a Scout Vector. This misbuilt Vector became a Scout Vector. And of course, I reroute my entire army. I was going to push him right now, which I think is the right choice. He sends the Vector in to scout some more. Now that is not the right way to engage Krees. You don't want to engage Krees with your Gaunts first. Yeah, I had one. See, I really wish for these Krees, I really needed more Mags, but like I said, I was trying to make that choice. And here my Kree are unfortunately having, or my Gaunts had to clean up those Kree, so they couldn't do quite as much damage here. I think this was a good idea, but it was a bad engage. So if I maybe were able to keep all my units together and had my melee units in front to tank those Kree shots, my Gaunts might not have been. I mean, once there's no front line, those Gaunts are going to disintegrate to the Kree and the size. And I think, again, as I mentioned, well, there's some more Shadow Flyers. I think the Shadow Flyers really are the main infernal tool for combating air, especially mass air like this. So these scythes look like healing up in their healing camp. Fast units can definitely take advantage of just running back, healing up, coming back for another push. Looks like, again, I'm trying to maybe get my fourth base up. Gravy has been on a fourth base for a while. And so, yeah, so what is Gravy doing here? Just waiting for more units. There's, okay, so I've got a good flock of shadow flyers now. That might have been an overproduction of shadow flyers. I mean, let's hope I get a good engage on them, but I don't want to A-move them into that like I've done in the past. Okay, a scan. That's a good idea as a Celestial, I think. Do a scan before you move up the ramp. You don't have any surprises. And that was definitely... Okay, the shadow flyers come in. Wow, okay, so I do get a pretty good engage with those shadow flyers. The Kree run away. See, now this unit comp isn't so bad. I've got the brutes now. They're out front, but you know, against Kree, I don't want this composition necessarily. But like I said, the brutes, they're a good way for a Luminite sink, but also to not starve me for gas. All right, this is an interesting play. It looks like Gravy's coming down to harass my new fourth, while I'm moving up into his base. Now, this attack, these blast nodes, unfortunately, are pretty strong. Like I said, my gaunts are getting melted by them. Yeah, that didn't go very well. Meanwhile, the Kree are in my base, and we have the scythes as well. This looks like easy pickings down here, and I think I'm very indecisive about whether I should base race. Base racing into blast nodes seems like a bad idea. And here we have the scythes and the Kree tearing into my third. This is really my only economy right now, so without this, there's nothing I can do. And I'm moving back. I only have 3 gaunts here, and they're in the front line. Yes, a couple more gaunts that just were produced. Again, also seemingly getting just swarmed by Kree. My brutes trying to stand up, but they're also taking that air attack from above, cleaning up the fiends. And again, fiends very weak against the Kree and their area of effect. And that looks like it's a GG. So thanks a lot for watching this Stormgate cast, and please stay tuned for some more Stormgate content.